What is up? My name is Casey Budge, and this is Western Sounds. And today I have just a regular kind of episode. I've been doing a lot of interviews and had some guests and everything on, so I decided today just to do a regular kind of me talking about music that I love episode. And today I have Treaty Oak Revival. They are a red dirt southern rock country band that I have absolutely fallen in love with recently. And I'm going to talk about some rodeo news. I'm going to talk about some music news. I'm going to talk about fantasy rodeo. And I'm going to talk about all sorts of other stuff and much, much more coming up right after this break. Treaty Oak Revival was formed in 2019 with members Sam Canty, who is the lead singer and plays acoustic, Lance Bailey, who plays rhythm electric and background vocals, Jeremy Vanley, who is lead electric, Andrew Casey, who plays the bass, and Kelly McKay, who is on the drums. They are a they're a lot like Whiskey Myers. They have kind of a grungy southern rock red dirt sound that is absolutely amazing. They came out with a couple of singles and then released their first album, which is called No Vacancy. And the title track of that was their second single. Their first single was Ode to Bourbon, and they're both amazing singles. But I love the way that they structured their album because they have little intro and outro takes, and this album is definitely meant to be listened to as an album. It follows kind of a story that goes along. There's not necessarily a story, but I like to think that there is. I enjoy this album as a complete album. It fits together all nicely. They put a lot of time and effort into making sure that every song on this album makes sense together. They're cohesive and fun to listen to. They have a lot of really cool lyrical pieces that make them really, really fun to listen to. And then since that first album came out, they have released three singles: Leaving Hell, Stay Tuned, and Haunted House. Being their most recent one, and it was released just 3 days before Halloween, the Friday before the Monday of Halloween, and it was an awesome, awesome song. It compares being out of a relationship recently to being a ghost. That's a really cool kind of metaphor that they use there because it does kind of feel like you're a ghost, like you don't exist, you're not there even. And so it's kind of it's a really fun way to talk about it. The band went on to say that No Vacancy, the whole album, deals with alcohol abuse and bad relationships and how they can affect you. And you can definitely hear that in the songs. And I feel like that's a really strong theme throughout all their music is how bad things can shape you and how they can mold you into what you're going to become and who you are. And a lot of their songs, which I really like, one piece about them is that they kind of tell a story. They're not the people and the characters in their story aren't the same person at the beginning of the song as at the end of the song. They move the story forward, if for lack of a better term. They have motivations, they have wants, needs, and a lot of times they end up being different by the end of the song than at the beginning of the song. Whether that's because of a really realization that they have, or because they of events that transpired. Overall, they are one of the best up and coming bands. Their concerts are amazing. I haven't been lucky enough to see them in person yet, but their concerts are amazing and they are such a cool band to make sure to watch out for. I'm sure that they're working on something new and I am really excited to see what comes next for them. In some other new music news, I've got some other pretty good new music for you. Long Cut by Mike Grind came out. It's a full studio album. It is really good. It has a couple of really top-notch songs on it. Long Cut, a few others that I really, really enjoyed. I can't remember the name of them right now just because it just recently came out. Haunted House, obviously, just came out recently. And then Caitlin Butts released a new uh I think they're all covers on there, but they are all like sad, super sad versions of some of her other songs. She did a stripped down version of Blood, and she did her and uh, her boyfriend, fiance from Flatland Cavalry did a duet. They did Whiskey Lullaby, and I think it's better than Brad Paisley's version. In my opinion, I really, really enjoy that duet they did on their rivals there. One from Life Where We Work Out. Another new song coming out is Catching Fire by JB and the Moonshine Band. I love JB and the Moonshine Band. I don't know if I've told this story on here a lot, but we used to have a CD of JB and the Moonshine Band in our pickup for the longest time, and we would sit and listen to that CD over and over and over and over again. So I memorized the words to Perfect Girl and Going Back to Jail and all those great songs that we all love from them. And then since it is after Halloween, we did get a couple of Christmas songs coming out, and that is Santa and a Cowboy by Ian Munsick. And this might be one of my new absolute favorite Ian Munsick songs and Christmas songs. Not only is this a great Christmas song, it's a really, really good Ian Munsick song. It is fun to listen to. It is thematically, it fits with the rest of his music. And that's what I like about this a lot because, and I like to argue with Matt Moran about this, but seasonal music doesn't have to be bad. And Matt would obviously say that seasonal music is bad because it's seasonal music, but and there's enough seasonal music, but I could disagree with him on that. Uh, they if you can make seasonal music that fits your genre and style, then I feel like that is just good music. That's just good music that happens to be about a different time and place. And that's the same kind of thing as just making a song about a location or a time. It's like making a song about midnight, or except it's just a different setting. And I feel like seasonal music can be just as good as any other kind of music. And another song in that kind of vein is New Baby for Christmas by Haley Witters. She is incredibly talented and she has my heart because everything she ate was phenomenal. And now she comes out with a Christmas song, and I am just absolutely floored. It is so good. But right on from that into the shuffle. That's all the new music I have for you for the week. So on to the shuffle. And starting at number 10, Last Chance by Kobe Keeling. And this song was good. So that's going to tell you how good our list is for today. We had one good song, and the rest were the second one's only good as well. Okay Overture by AJR. This is one of the weaker songs just because it is an overture and it is a I almost didn't include this song in here because I wanted to include another song, but I felt like that's not really in the spirit of what the shuffle is. So Okay Overture is at number 9. And number 8, we have Leaving and Lonely by the Steel Drivers. That speaks for itself. I mean, that Steel Drivers are a great band and they make great music. Or not Leaving and Lonely, Leaving and Being Alone. Excuse me. Next is Creeper Reimagined by Tyler Childers. That's another great version of a great song. Pageant Material by Casey Musgraves. I've shown my love for Casey Musgraves on this show, and I think that she is an amazingly talented artist who can do no wrong in my eyes. I have several of her vinyls hanging up on my wall right now, so that should show you how much I absolutely adore her music, but not only the way that she goes about business. She is incredibly talented and incredibly fun artist to follow. Let's see. The next song on the list is "Sing One with Willie" by George Strait, and this is obviously his kind of ode to Willie Nelson and his excuse to have Willie on one of his songs. So this is just a really fun, like two of my people who would be on my Mount Rushmore of country music, right there, Willie and George. And I was thinking about this as well. Man, my Mount Rushmore for country music would probably be Willie, Waylon, George. See, this is where it gets really hard, because I am struggling to. I want to say Turnpike, and currently it's Zach Bryan, and you all know how much I love Zach Bryan and Turnpike, so they're probably gonna get on there. But those first three are just iconic pieces of country music history. They shaped country music back to what it is today, and that's all I have to say about that. They're incredibly talented, but I think those second two deserve to be on that list just as much, and that should show you how highly I think of those last two. Next one is a really fun kind of thing. Speaking of great team ups, it's by the Panhandlers, which is Josh Abbott, William Clark Green, um, Caitlin Butts' boyfriend, fiance, frontman for the Flatland Cavalry, whose name I can't remember at the moment. I apologize. That is not my intention. I had it looked up before I came on here, and I cannot remember it now. And one other Texas band, but they are like they're powered quadruple, and they represent like all the greatest music in Texas, in my opinion. And it's No Handle by the Panhandlers, and that is just such a fun little album that they put together in a fun little group. It's like uh the modern day Highwaymen. Like that's just, and I think that the name even was an ode to Highwaymen too. They were trying to do a traveling this kind of thing, and so they did Panhandlers, and I think that's a really cool way to do it. At number three, I have Hippies and Cowboys by Cody Jinks. And this is a super great song. I feel like it encapsulates what my kind of music is hanging out with the hippies and the cowboys. Next up is Zach Bryan. Obligatory is Zach Bryan, uh, reference aside, he has such great music, and Highway Boys is one of my favorites of all time. And up next is In My Arms Instead by the Randy Rogers Band. And again, Randy Rogers Band continues to be one of my absolute favorite bands of all time. They are incredibly talented, and I will listen to any music that they put out, period, hard stop. I love them so much. So, in case you guys don't know what shuffle is, and I just went through the whole thing and forgot to explain it beforehand, is where I hit shuffle on my phone, and the first 10 songs that pop up on there, I rank in order of how much I like them. But on to a little bit of news in our next segment. I'm going to skip this first one because it's going to make my blood boil, and I want to be able to get through these next few bits of news before I go off on a complete rant about the next one. So now I will tell you who all the NFR qualifiers are and which of them made my fantasy team this year. Before I go into fantasy, I should probably talk about how fantasy rodeo works. So in fantasy rodeo, there are 7 events at the National Finals Rodeo, but we pick 8 rodeo contestants because we pick one header and one heeler, at least in my league that I'm in. And we pick in the league that I'm in, the way that it works is first place is 1 point, second place is 2 points, third place is 3 points. So your rodeo athlete earns you points over the course of the NFR or money over the course of the NFR, and whoever has the most money at the end of the NFR, uh, whoever's team has earned them the most money over the course of the NFR wins. Average points are included. So you want someone who's going to be consistently good over the whole round, but also you want people who are going to win your rounds. So it's kind of a balancing act there. And you want to make sure that you're going to spend your points wisely, because your team total needs to add up to 40 or more points. So you can't pick all 8 first round people. You need to at least average 5 for all of the events. So for bareback riding, I picked Casey Fields. He's number 5. Steer wrestling, I picked Tyler Wagaspack at number 2. I think he's incredibly talented. Team roping as a header, I picked Clay Tryon. At team roping on a healer, I picked Junior O'Gara. Saddle Bronc, I picked Zeke Thurston, my Canadian boy. Tie down roping, I picked Marty Yates because he's been known to win a lot of rounds. He might not be the most consistent, but he will win a couple of rounds for me in there. In the bull riding, I picked Jared Parsonage, and in the barrel racing, I picked the woman, the myth, the legend, Haley Kinsel. She might not win the overall standings this year because she's coming in a little bit behind, but she, I think the last 2-3 years, she's won the most rounds, and she only didn't win the average last year because she had a long run one night. But she won the most rounds out of the NFR last year, and so she is incredibly talented and incredibly good at what she does. The top 15 in the bareback riding is Cole Reiner from KCE, went to Sheridan, Jess Pope, Caleb Bennett, Rock Schneider, Casey Fields, RC Lindeham, Lyndon Berry, Tim O'Connell, Tanner Oz, Cole Franks, Tilton Hooper, who has the best hair in rodeo, Orrin Larson, Clayton Bigelow, Ty Brewer, and Gary Shattuck. Steer wrestling is Stetson Jorgensen, Tyler Wagaspack, JD Stretzinks, Will Loomis, Hunter Cure, Ty Erickson, Tristan Martin, Dakota Eldridge, Kai Irwin, Tanner Brunner, excuse me, Jesse Brown, Rowdy Parrott, Dirk Travner, Timmy Sparing, and Nick Guy. Team roping headers are Caleb Dricker, Clay Tryon, Andrew Ward, Coleman Proctor, Tanner Tomlinson, Dustin Igueras, Ren Richards, Tyler Wade, Junior Dees, Cody Snow, Lightning Aguilera, Riley Muir, Clay Smith, Chad Masters, and Jake Orman. In the healing end, we have Junior, Jake, Buddy, Jay Corgill, Logan Medlin, Patrick Smith, Travis Graves, Jeremy Bueller, Levi Lord, Trey Dizzle Yates, Joseph Harrison, Wesley Thorpe, Brandy Miner, Briar Crides, and Jonathan Torres. In the saddle bronc riding, we have Sage Newman, Stetson Wright, Brody Kress, Ryder Wright, Lefty Holman, Zeke Thurston, Logan Hay, Leighton Green, Cade Bruno, Kobe Wanchuk, Wyatt Casper, Cole Oshmaker, Chase Brooks, Dawson Hay, and the man, the myth, the legend, the man who rodeoed in District 7 in Idaho and is my good buddy, Tanner Butner. He's an amazing guy, and I will be rooting for him all the way, even though he's not on my fantasy team. In the tie-down roping, we have Shad Mayfield, John Dosh, Haven Megad, Caleb Schmidt, Shane Hansey, Zach Junglewood, I don't know his last name, Tough Cooper, Corey Solomon, Marty Yates, Tyler Milligan, Riley Webb, Ty Harris, Hunter Heron, and McCon Murphy. Oh, and Kincaid Henry. And in the bull riding, we have Stetson Wright, Josh Frost, Jeff Askey, Garrett Smith, Tristan Hutchings, Trevor Kashner, Maverick Potter, Trey Kimsey, Kai Hamilton, Jared Parsonage, Trey Holston, Junior Stratford, Creek Young, Lusky Morris, and Reed Ofterfall. That was a long list of people, but I didn't have the barrel racers on there because they're not on the PRCA website. You have to go to the WPRA website, and I'm not dealing with that. But they are all incredibly talented. I will go over them in more detail when we get a little bit closer to the NFR. But now on to some other news. Let's move a little bit away from rodeo and back towards some music that I have for you guys. Zach Bryan did not get nominated for any CMAs this year. And I don't really like the CMAs. I don't really pay attention to the CMAs. I don't really care. But if you're going to call yourself a country music awards show and not talk about the most the most popular country music artist in the nation right now, then people aren't going to take your show seriously. And to not include any mention of the cultural phenomenon that was American Heartbreak this summer, he is selling out Red Rocks. He like you can't buy a ticket to one of his concerts because they're all sold out. Like Turnpike when they first came back, you cannot find a ticket to a Zach Bryan concert anywhere. He is outsold every single other nominee for single and like he has more like one of his songs gets streamed more than most of the others combined in a day. Like American Heartbreak took over the individual Spotify chart. Like I just don't understand how these awards work. I don't do these people not understand that his music is not only amazing, but it's culturally popular. Like it's does his music just not get played? I don't listen to the radio, so I guess I don't know. But does his music just not get played on the radio? Because if it doesn't, that's crazy. But also, why? Like, it's not like he's swearing or it's not like he's saying a lot of obscene stuff in his music. He's talking about real life. He's talking about how he gets his heartbreak. He's talking about how he loves people and loses. And he's talking about how he just wants to write songs. And I, I don't understand how someone who gets is a cultural phenomenon doesn't even get any looks, like doesn't even get a nomination for a CMA. I don't understand that is what it is. It's just really frustrating. I hope the CMTs or any of the other music industry realizes that he is the hottest commodity in country music and awards him so. But who knows? The big wigs don't like to let the little guys in, even though he's in a big studio now. He did his own thing, and so that probably made some people mad and pissed some people off. So could be. I'm not sure, but what I do know is that I have released a new playlist on Spotify and on Apple Music, and it is my top 30 songs, and he is featured on there twice. These are my favorite 30 songs. I'll update it weekly. These are music that I listen to at least weekly, if not daily. These are my favorite songs, my 30 favorite songs. You'll have to go and look me up on Spotify. It's Western Sounds Top 30. You can also find it from my Twitter, Instagram. It'll all be in my link tree on there. So if you go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and find me on there, then you will find my link tree. And from there, you can find the Western Sounds Top 30. These are 30 songs that I absolutely adore, and I hope you adore them too. Also, I am doing a show on AMP now. AMP is it's a best way to describe it is like it's similar to being a radio host in which you can play music live on the air and have people tune in and listen to you, and I get to control what plays and have call-ins, and it would mean the world to me if you guys would come and support me there. I really enjoy doing the shows. I really enjoy playing music for people. That's why I got into this, is because I like showing people new music that they're gonna love. So if you guys want to do that, you have to download the AMP app and look for me on there. My name is Western Sounds on there. It'll be Western Sounds Radio. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be there on there at about 5:30, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be on there at around 7. And if you guys are around on the weekend, I might start doing some shows on the weekend. So thank you so much for listening. Be sure to rate down below. It really means a lot, and it helps more people find me and find great music. My name is Casey Budge. I play great music and I listen to crappy music, so you don't have to. Thank you so much for listening.